More music. Better mental health. Only on IPL Radio.
And you're back with Mish with Good Vibrations here this afternoon on a Friday. We just had Anna on before with an amazing story of hers, her personal story. It was amazing to hear. It was hard to hear, but very inspiring at the end. I've now got wonderful Storn Peterson and Debbie. Debbie's what was it you just said about the strong woman behind every man?
Yeah, behind every successful man is a strong woman.
Exactly, and this is what Debbie is. So Debbie doesn't really want to talk too much today, but she has got a poem that I've forced her into reading. But she's happy enough to give it a read. She actually wrote this herself. So I'm going to let you go, Deb.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for that. I'll just go straight into it.
If you wish to do so,
Absolutely. It was a poem that I wrote to all who loved me. I never meant to hurt you, nor meant to make you cry. I only want to stop this pain. I don't really want to die. This torment that I feel inside is tearing me apart. This torture and my loneliness weighs heavy on my heart. I understand how much you're hurt, and you're asking questions. Why? Just know I gave it all I had. I didn't want to die. I'm scared of being left alone with no one to love. I'm lonely for a soft warm kiss, a smile, a loving touch. I'm sick of feeling unwanted. I'm tired of this pain. I wish I could rewind the clocks and live my life again. I just want to be important enough for somebody to care. I'm tired of being hurt, alone, and always second best. I only ever wanted happiness with love and nothing more. My heart is big, and I have a lot of love inside it stored. This torture and the madness that I carry in my head is slowly but surely leading me to my death. I'm not sure how to stop this. I don't really want to die. I just want someone to hold me tight and tell me everything's all right. I've turned to God, been on my knees, and I've prayed with all my might. I tried, I really did. I spoke to God each day and night. I tried to seek the answers. I waited patiently. It seems that love and happiness, they've just eluded me. I'm not sure where to find it. I don't really have the time. I'm running out of options, and I'm running out of life. I've spent a lifetime running, just running from my pain. I'm broken and a shattered mess, a derailed and lonely train. I tried to pick my pieces up. I've nothing left to give. My jigsaw is too damaged. I just can't be fixed. The smallest things, they set me off. I just don't know what to do. I feel so alone and scared, and no one to turn to. This black dog's got me by the throat. He's snarling and he's mean. I'm drowning in the darkened pit of complete misery. There's no way out of this one. I've fought, I've prayed, I've cried. There's too much pain and madness. Oh God, please let me die. There's no one close to stop me, no one who truly cares. I'm just so unimportant, and there is no one to share. No one to share my love with, no one to hold me tight. No one to say they love me and hold me through the night. No one to hug me and dry away my tears. No one to ease my pain. No one to tell me that I'm worthy and that I can live again. I'm not sure how much longer I can physically hold on. I'm trying, but I'm tired, and my strength, it's almost gone. So if by chance I just can't make it through, I wanted you to know just how much I loved you. I didn't want to leave you, nor break your hearts in two. Just hear my voice when you read this, and know my love is true. I'm sorry if I made you cry. I'm sorry I let you down. I'm sorry for everything I've done, and I'm sorry for sticking around. I should have left beforehand. I could have made this right, but now it's all too late, and I've given up the fight. Goodbye to the ones who loved me. Just know I love you too. I'm sorry I tried too hard, and I'm sorry I hurt you. Please don't hate me, and forgive me quick. There's nothing anyone can do. My mind, it's just too sick. I know you would have stopped me if I had have said goodbye. I have to end this living hell. It's now my time to die. I didn't want to die. I just didn't know how to live.
Ooh, that's amazing, Debbie.
Thank
But sad. You know, there's times like this when you wish it wasn't live radio because I really just want to switch up and have a cry. That is heavy,
you. Yeah,
but
of course.
have you written poetry before?
I've been writing poetry since I was 15
That's
years old.
amazing. Have you got it published? You should publish it.
I'm in the middle of putting one together.
Yeah, I think you should. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you
very
for your
much
courage because it's not easy, and I believe it's only the second time you've read it out loud. So,
Absolutely. We hand it out on the trailer just for people to understand.
Oh, brilliant!
But that's the second time I've ever
Actually, physically read it. I really appreciate it, and yeah, your courage is amazing, and I don't know what else to say. I'm a bit taken aback, I'm afraid. Just thank you.
Thank you.
Sitting next to the lovely Debbie is Storn Peterson. Now, Storn, I've met Storn a couple of times before. I'm a bike rider, so I've met him on Black Dog rides and Two Wheels to Wagen rides. He inspires me. I think he's an amazing man. But if you'd like to introduce yourself, now I've taken you off the pedestal. Welcome, and thank you so much for coming in. And tell us a little about who you are and what you do.
Okay, thank you very much, Mish, for having us here this afternoon, me and Debbie. Yeah, Debbie's the backbone of BMRC, which has been doing Mobile Recovery Campaign, a suicide campaign that I started 10 years ago, and it's going strong today. If I can, I could just share a bit of my story.
I've actually just finished reading your story, so I'm a bit taken back anyway. But I will actually, if it's okay with you, I'll put it on our website if it's all right with you.
Absolutely.
Or put on at least the link that they can link onto the BMRC.
Yeah.
But yeah, please, go ahead with whatever you want to discuss.
Okay. I'll share my story so the people out there, if anyone's struggling out there, they'll be able to relate to me. Back in, I'm 71 now, but it was like yesterday I was 18 running amok. Time goes so quick, but back in the 50s and 60s, my mother basically, she fell pregnant with me. She was a bit of a party girl, and she found herself chained to the kitchen sink, I guess, and to put it mildly, she hated my guts, and she used to stand over me as a child saying that I'd, basically screwed up her life. And as a result of that abuse, I ended up going into a deep depression. And I can remember being in depression, not that I was consciously aware of the fact at age 6 or 5 that what I've got wrong with me is depression. I had no idea, but she basically shattered me on the inside, and even when I would, leave the back door of the house, to walk up the road to go to school, she'd be screaming at me as I walked out the back door, and I'd be crying, and before I got to the school bus, I had to dry my eyes because I knew that if the kids saw that I'd been crying, they would have bullied me. So I went inside myself, and I lived in my head, and I lived in a fantasy world because of the harsh reality of what was being done to me was more than I could bear. It was more than I had no means of coping with that, and no child would know how to cope with that.
Yep.
So I lived in a fantasy world. I would be in the classroom. My head would be in Hawaii, riding my surfboard, and I was always somewhere in my head that I liked. I was in so much mental turmoil that our mongrel black dog here, he knew what was going on, and he would cash in on it. He would add to that mental turmoil by jumping in my head, and I was in so much mental turmoil that I couldn't learn anything. I couldn't, put in my mind what was being taught at school because there was no room in my head to put that in.
Okay.
And as a result of that, I had to bull dust my way through school. I remember a teacher once wrote on my report card, because I was very neat and I did other things to try and bull dust my way through.
Go under the radar.
Yeah. And he put on my report card, he said, neatness is no excuse for accuracy. And he was on to what I was doing, but he wouldn't have known why I was in the state that I was in.
And never asked.
No, no. So, I wished away my childhood. I wanted to get out of the family home. I just wanted to get out of there. I had a picture of a hot car and just get out of there. And so I wished away my childhood. I never had a childhood. I was in too much mental turmoil. And little did I know that my mother was also an alcoholic. Alcoholism was running rampant through the whole family, because I didn't know anything about alcoholism.
No.
And the teenage years came around, and like we all do, I picked up a drink, and I was in a state of depression. I went from the pits of nothingness to 10 foot up in the air, and I didn't know that I was drinking a depressant on top of depression. Alcohol gave me a feeling of euphoria, and when I was half cut, for the first time in my life, I felt that I belonged here.
Okay.
I felt that I fitted. I could talk to people. My fears all left me. I had confidence. I was no longer alone, and it was a beautiful feeling. And so I continued drinking, and I drank alcohol for the effect. No other reason. I drank it for the effect. If it didn't give me the effect that it was giving me, I wouldn't have drunk it. Little did I know that I was destined to a very dark road of alcoholism myself. I drank for 15 years. At the end of that 15 years, a lot of stuff happened. I found myself at a house where there was just low-life people there, and I didn't belong there. Sometimes I'd find myself at a house where there was a Porsche and a Rolls Royce parked in the driveway, and I didn't belong there. And I didn't know where I belonged, and I was searching. But alcoholism took me to a living hell. At the end of my drinking, after 15 years, that's how long I drank for. I was in a state where I was 16.5 stone. I was all bloated. I had a gun, and there was 3 guys that I wanted to shoot. That's resentment. Resentment leads to hate. Hate leads to killing. And I had peripheral neuritis. I had no feeling in my fingers and toes. I was drinking that much.
Wow.
I was in the horrors. That's where I'd wake up at night with these evil nightmares, evil stuff running through my mind. And I had a memory span of 2 seconds. I could put my beer down the backyard and move something into. If I couldn't remember where it was gone. I had to go and pour another one. And my brain was just fried from
So
the
you had
alcohol.
multiple beers around the house where you just dropped them and picked up a new one.
Yeah. Next day there'd be 6 or 8 glasses in the backyard.
It's expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I worked out what I eventually a beautiful guy called Bill. He 12-stepped me, 12-step program of Alcoholics Anonymous, 12-stepped me into Alcoholics Anonymous. He could see I was in trouble, and I'd reached my personal rock bottom.
Were you ready for the help at that time?
Yes.
Okay. How did you know that you were ready?
I didn't.
Okay. Okay.
I had no idea, but for me, a higher power that we talk about in AA, that higher power knew that I was ready, and the miracle was that this guy reached me in a mechanical workshop in Welshpool, and he wasn't even supposed to be there that day. He was supposed to be over in Osborne Park, but circumstances the day before.
Those stories.
Yeah, he was in that workshop, and he was put there for me. And this guy, he's actually a mathematician.
Wow.
he plays lead guitar like Jimi Hendrix. He builds guitars. He's got a house up at Quinns Rocks now, 3-story. And this guy spent 2 or 3 hours with me, and he came into my bubble and sat inside my bubble with me and basically held my hand and talked to me. And he treated me with respect. He treated me with compassion, and he treated me in every way that he did. It came from his heart. And this guy was amazing, and because I am an alcoholic. I'm a non-practicing alcoholic today. I will always be an alcoholic. It's the first drink that does the damage. He talked to me, and here was the sick, drunk alcoholic listening to a sober alcoholic. And this guy, because I didn't know I was suffering from alcoholism, this guy had the answers, and he really annoyed me. It didn't matter what I asked him, he had an answer for it. And he was just amazing. He carried the message of AA to me, and he took me to my first meeting, 20th August 1984. So I sit here in your studio this afternoon, extremely grateful to the Fellowship of AA and the people in it.
That's good.
That they love me back to health, and as a result of that, I haven't had a drink now for 38 years, and it's always just one day at a time. That's yesterday's fantastic. History.
Congratulations.
Tomorrow's a mystery.
Yeah.
I got sober. What can I say? No sane, rational, well-balanced woman marries a practicing alcoholic. So AA is a spiritual program, and as I grasped it with both hands and hung on, I moved in a spiritual direction, and I found in the Fellowship of AA and the 12-step program what I was looking for, and it fulfilled my insides that no bottle could ever do, or no drug could ever do. There was love in the room and power, and that's what I needed. I needed power, and I got that power, and that stopped me from drinking. This marriage, it was all done wrong, and about 4 years into the fellowship, she lost control of me and said, "Get out." So I left, and I walked away from the house, 2 kids and a new car in the carport, and I ended up living in the back of my panel van and had that parked in a derelict building. But the bottom line was what the people in AA said to me: no matter what happens, you don't pick up that first drink. And I didn't. And if anyone's ever been through a marriage breakup with children and that involved, it's extremely painful. And I couldn't tip anything on top of the pain. I had to cop it sweet and grow through that. And I got through that with a lot of help. And so that marriage failed. Then I met another girl. I don't want to go on too long. Started again like us baby boomers have. And got with this girl. She was on the drugs, and got her off the drugs. And I was with her for 23 years, built up again. I renovated a house in Bindoon on 6 acres. I worked my ass off and built back up everything that I'd lost and more. And then 23 years down the track, she said, I don't love you anymore, out. And so here was the second marriage. Failed. So at age 60, I lost, 2 wives. I've lost 5 children, 2 houses, a business, all the material accoutrements, all my money, and what really hurt, and I hope my father forgives me, I lost his inheritance of $250,000, which was half of his house that he worked his guts out for all his life. I lost that as well, and I ended up, all I had left was my super. She gutted me, and and I got my hands on was my super, I wasn't prepared to go through the family law court again. So I basically handed everything over to her, and I looked up, and in my faith I said, mate, you better help me. I just walked away because I didn't want to go through giving all that hard-earned money to lawyers. I'm afraid to say they're my pet hate. Solicitors and lawyers, they make money out of people's misery. I stood in the paddock and I had my super. I got my hands on that. It was 84,000 at age 60. Everything else was gone. They poisoned the kids' heads. She put VROs on me and I'd done absolutely nothing. Judge signed off on it, and I just got ground in the heel, ground into the dirt, and extremely painful. And when you're standing in a paddock at age 60 and your life's gone down the toilet, and I was looking down, I had to look up, and I looked up and I said, mate, that's how I talked to him, I said, hey, mate, if you're there, please, you got to bail me out of here. I don't know what to do anymore. And basically, I got my hands on my super, as I already said 4 times, and got my hands on my super, and that enabled me to buy a Holden V8.
I'm glad it was a Holden.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I don't talk to people that drive Fords.
High five.
And just joking anyway.
Just joking.
But always been great rivalry, the Holden and Ford people.
Finished
now.
now.
It's sad.
Sad. Anyway.
Yeah. So I bought a Holden V8 because she got the other one that I bought. It was 70 grand. But anyway, we won't go into the details of it. But and bought a caravan. And once I'd done that, I was gutted again. There was nothing left, and I didn't know what the hell to do with my life. I couldn't start again and try and get the white picket fence with the kids and the wife, and it's gone. It's over, and I had no idea what to do. And little did I know that my really horrifically painful life, always in mental turmoil, and for 60 years, little did I know that going through that was a preparation for something bigger. Never give up. It doesn't matter, anyone listening to me now, wherever you are, whatever is going on in your mind, hang in there. Go talk to somebody. Hang in there. And that's what I did. In the guts of my being, I knew there had to be something more than this. This was just a living hell for me. And then it was dialed in. The bloke upstairs, he said to me, I want you to signwrite 33 men suicide every week in Australia down the side of your Commodore. And I want you to get that beat up old trailer that you've had for 30 years and put a top on it and put some books in it on anxiety and depression. And I want you to go drive down the street and park in the shopping centres, and I'm going to send along some people that need your help, because I have prepared you. You have the empathy and compassion and the love that these people need to know about and hear about. And I said to him, mate, no, that's how I talk to him, because he put the thoughts in my head. There's no voice, that's rubbish. He just puts thoughts in your head. And I said to him, mate, I'm not doing that. I said, that's going to ruin me Commodore, me V8 Commodore. And I just stood there and thought, yeah, that's the end of that, And then he put the thoughts in my head. He said, listen, pal, that's how he talks to me. He knows I'm a bit rough around the edges. He said, listen, pal, when you were born, you come in with nothing. He said, everything you got belongs to me, and it's on loan to you from me. And when I call you out, when the time's right, not one bit of anything you've got is coming with you. And then it hit me that the Commodore isn't mine, it belongs to him. Society says it's mine. I've got rego papers with my name on it. But at the end of the day, it belongs to him. So I thought, okay, then it belongs to him. So the car's not mine, it's his. And this is what he wants me to do. He wants me to get my signwriting brushes out because I'm an old school signwriter.
Alright.
And put 33 men suicide every week in Australia down the side of it on both sides. And some stickers and whatever else I could find. And then I thought, I haven't got any money. It's going to take money to do this. I said, hey, mate, I said, I haven't got any money. And I thought, yeah, I've got him this time. He won't have an answer for that one. And about, a couple of minutes went by, and then the thoughts were put in my head, and the thoughts were, listen, pal, he said, you step out in my name and mind your own bloody business. So what he was saying was, you step out in my name and faith in me, and I'll take care of the money. I said, all right. We'll see how, I didn't have much real strong faith.
Mm.
I said, mate, we'll see how good you are. I was being real cocky.
Mm.
And we'll see how good you are. So I wrote the car, got the trailer done, spent what little money I had, got it going, put some books in it, and I drove down the highway, and I was shaking like a leaf, and my heart was jumping out of my chest because I didn't know what the public was going to think when they seen this huge word suicide on the side of the car. And I pulled into the IGA car park in Bullsbrook, got out, I opened up the doors of the trailer to expose all the information I had in there, and a lady walked up and said, can you help me with
Wow.
anxiety? I've got a 13-year-old daughter that's really struggling with it. And I said, sure, and give her a whole bunch of stuff, and I was put it in the bag for her. I had some bags, and I turned around, and there were 7 other people there. They were queuing up for help, and I was just blowing out the water. How many people out there in our society are hurting and suffering? And the other thing that blew me out the water, which made me extremely humble, was at the end of the day, there was $300.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there was $300 in the tin.
That was just your first day.
Yeah, that was my very first day, and and the next day I went somewhere else over to 2J, and the same thing happened.
That was the start of your journey. Your amazing journey.
Yeah, and
This was 11 years ago, we're talking.
yeah, and this little trailer, I had a little trailer, and then I sat in my caravan, got some paper out, and I designed a really big one myself, and then got it custom built. And people helped me. Yeah, people helped me. They gave me. I've had so much help with it. They gave me money, and they couldn't do enough to help me. And so now I've got two V8 Commodores. I've got a Club Sport and
Awesome.
two massive trailers, and we've got the small trailer. And over the past 10 years, I've lost track. Not that I was ever keeping track of the amount of people that have come back and said that I've turned their life around.
Absolutely.
And so we just keep on doing it. It's just been amazing. And when someone comes back and say that, I mean, I can't save anyone's life. You save your own life if you listen and follow a spiritual direction and just put in place certain things. You will get very, very well. But it's just been absolutely incredible. I've had a Rio Tinto chase me down, and they said they wanted me up in the Pilbara. I've been up there 3 times
That's
now.
brilliant. I did see that on your Facebook site.
Yeah, and like I get pretty fired up when I'm talking sometimes, and I remember doing a lunchtime talk, and you could have dropped a pin. It was just beautiful, and these people were listening to me. No one ever listened to me as a kid, you know.
Oh, wow. I just find you absolutely amazing. I mean, as I said, I've met you a few times, and I've been through, not personally myself, suicide, but someone has suicided close to me, and I remember sitting down with you once on some steps somewhere outside of a pub, I think it was, and I opened up a little bit to you, and you gave me some advice and made me feel a lot better. But the fact that you think that you've had all this journey to get to this one place,
Yeah.
you believe that that was necessary to get to where you are now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You have to know, for me to do what I'm doing, I have to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And therefore, I have to go through the living experience of it. I mean, I was in the, after the marriage went, I was in the black hole of suicide. This guy here, this black dog here, he had me in the black hole of suicide for 5 months. I was in the fetal position. It was one day I had to ring Lifeline 7 times just to get through the day, otherwise I was going to kill myself. It was so horrible that I drove my V8 Commodore out the back of Wongan Hills one day. I found a big piece of straight road out there and a big white gum, and I just looked up and I said, "That's my tree. What are you going to do about it?" And went back into Perth, and I was just going crazy. And 3 o'clock in the morning, I went out there and I wound my V8 with no seatbelt on. I wound it up to 211 k an hour. Dropped 2 wheels in the gravel, and I was going in, and I got a gut feeling. He said, "Pull it out," and I pulled it out. And then the next day, I found myself with a doctor who diagnosed me with chronic depression at age 60. And that was the first time that someone had hit the nail on the head what was wrong with me,
60
which
years.
is depression.
Wow.
And if you stay in depression long enough, it will turn into suicide. So you need to reach out for help. But yeah, I mean, I could sit here and share 60 years of experiences. Like, I mean, I gave the fingers to a bike gang one night. There was like 60 of them, and I told them what I thought of them in no uncertain terms, and there was King Browns flying through the air, and these guys chased me, and I did 5 red lights on my motorbike, on my Honda 750 at high speed.
On a 750?
Yeah.
And they didn't catch her?
Yeah. No, well, they did. I actually hit a white arrow and dropped it, and they caught me.
Oh, gosh.
But they reckon I was a great bloke because I put a bit of excitement into their life, and they pulled me up by the hair and the scruff of the neck, and they shoved a King Brown in my chest, and they reckon I was a great guy.
Excellent. Do you realise, though, just how much love that you have now in your life? I mean, my gosh, there is so much love for you now.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired, and I respect you so much.
Thank you.
As a human, you're amazing, and Debbie, you know what goes on in the background, and you know all the people. I've seen you so many times out there, and there's always people there chatting to you. Always people.
Yeah, look, I love what I'm doing, you know, and when someone comes back and throws their arms around you. I had a young girl come up to us at the Narrogin show, and she come up, and she was the other side of the table, and she said to me, she said, 6 years ago, you turned my life around.
Wow.
And she come around the other side of the table and give me a great big hug. Her dad was there and everything. Just like, you know, we can reach some people and they walk off, and we don't know that we don't even know.
Yeah. But
I just want to like share this here with you.
Yeah, what are these pictures that I'm seeing?
Yeah, I've got some pictures here. What I've done is, and my vision for my suicide campaign was 5 V8 Commodores with 5 of these custom trailers.
Yeah.
That's the one that I started with there. I'm just talking about a picture here. That's the little one that I started with.
Yeah.
But Debbie and I have bought 20 acres at Popanini.
Oh, nice.
And we've just built the shed here.
That's huge.
So my dream was to have there's 7 roller doors there. It was to have 5 of these rigs going out on the street with other people operating them.
Yeah.
Now, in life, I've learnt that whatever you're doing, aim for the moon. Aim for the moon. Always aim for the moon. And if you don't get there, you will land among the stars. So I've aimed here to have 5 of these rigs on the street. I may never get there, but we've built this massive shed, as you can see here.
It's huge.
And we're going to operate the suicide campaign from Popanini, which is out in the wheat belt, and then go from there out to events. We're going to build a little granny flat there, just something very small, and an old donga for a bit of an office for all the work.
Will you hold any events here, do you think?
No,
just a base.
That's a base, yeah. The idea of the shed is to get these vehicles out of the weather, so they're not in the sun and they're not in the weather damaging them. Yep. But we'll just go from there out to events. We both love driving, but the whole campaign has been just amazing, and I would like to, if I could, I'd like to thank the public. There's some absolutely wonderful people out there, absolutely amazing. I always thought the world was just full of deros, you know. I really did. But being on the street and dealing with the public on a one-to-one basis, you've learned, you know, how caring people are and how concerned people are about the world and about the pollution and, you know, where are we heading. Everyone is really concerned about it. And it's just really nice to have interaction with these people and get some feedback from them.
Absolutely.
So that's what we've done there. We've built this massive shed for the campaign.
So you've got 3 in there at the moment.
We got three trailers, 2 big ones, and we got the two V8 cars. And
nice.
So just how I got that black Commodore there. That's a Club Sport.
Nice.
I helped a lady. This is just amazing. I helped a lady who was suicidal, and I spent quite a bit of time with her. And as she came out of the black hole of suicide and got well, she gave me $20,000.
Wow. So that went towards your first vehicle?
No, that went towards the second one.
Oh, yeah.
So she donated $20,000 to me, and we put it in the BMRC checkbook. And then you wouldn't believe it, a few weeks later, Christian Porter, who's not here anymore, they were in Allenbrook. They put something out that if someone has 20,000, they will match that with another 20,000 for a good cause. And I've never seen it again since this one application for funding. So my committee accessed that and put the application in, and you know, I had to look up again.
Wow.
We got that other 20,000, and that bought that
amazing
that Commodore.
Just amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it always seems like a miracle, doesn't it?
Well, it is.
Yeah.
You said the word. It is miracles.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to say out there that the man upstairs, he's still milling around, and he's doing miracles every day. And
absolutely.
You know, the world's suffering from spiritual malnutrition. So anyone out there, you know, look up. You know, look
amazing.
up. And that's what I did. I just look up, and he talks to me. There is no voice. He puts thoughts in your head like the black dog.
Puts the negative thoughts in.
Put negative in. The higher power, you can call it God if you like. If you don't, I'm not talking about religion. I'd like to say that I got backhanded quite viciously by a priest, a Presbyterian priest in a church when I was a kid for spilling a little tin of yellow paint on the floor. Yeah, I remember as a kid laying on the floor looking at him and saying to myself, when I get older, I'm going to come back and blow your head off and burn your church down with you in it. You know, that's and from that point on, I hated God, priests, religion, churches, and I wanted nothing to do with it.
Wow.
So I'm talking here about spirituality, but there is a God here. There is a loving God here, and that God is in a lot of our people out here on the street. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. So, if anyone wants to contact you, or can you read out your websites and your Facebooks, etc.?
Yeah, sure.
www.bmrc.net.au is our webpage, and you can find us on Facebook just under Bindoon Mobile Recovery Campaign.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, like, if anyone out there's listening and you would like us at, a car show, we go to car shows, and I just had a big company. It just had me in their depot for a whole week. I've been up in the Pilbara with another huge company, another rail company. They've had me Bunbury, Kalgoorlie, Geraldton, and doing a presentation. So I'll come in, I'll make up health packs for the men.
That's great.
I'll share my story, other information, because the trailers are packed full of stuff. We've got all our bases basically covered. And these companies have been getting me in, and then we pick up a little bit of money there to keep it going.
That's fantastic. So sponsorship, etc. So if anyone else out there can help sponsor you, that would be fantastic, and get another one of those V8s in the garage.
Yeah,
would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then what we're going to be looking for eventually, which is going to be very difficult, I need other people to operate them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those people will have to be people that have been in the gutter like me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because you know what you're talking about, and you've got the ability to reach somebody and turn their life around.
Yeah. You've got a better understanding of what someone else is feeling if you've already felt that.
Yeah.
Now, I was just reading your Facebook story. I was just reading it, and there was actually a phone number on there if you needed to talk. Is that the right number?
Yeah.
Yeah, so well, you can say it.
0499 858 394.
Yeah, and does that go directly to you, Storm?
Yeah, that's actually my phone number. So I look, I'm here, but not only that, Debbie's here. Both of us nearly suicided. We know what it's like to be in the black hole of suicide. So if there's any ladies out there are struggling, you can call that number, and I'll just give the phone to Debbie.
Yeah, that's good.
And you can have a chat. But I've got guys off the street, that have had drinking problems, got them to AA.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of guys that were on methamphetamine. I got them into Tenacious House. And these guys have recovered now. It's just
amazing. You are amazing. Do you know that?
Well, no, not really.
You are.
No,
you are.
No, I'm just an ordinary, pretty basic bloke. But it's the hard life, or the hard run that I've had is basically.
But you've come out the other side. I don't even know how to explain it. You're someone you've always wanted to be, to reach, to be, and you thought you'd never be there.
Yeah, well, I'm super sensitive. Yeah, I'm really sensitive.
Do you hate it when people say how amazing you are?
Hey?
Do you hate it when people say how amazing you are?
No, I don't hate it, but I can't get my head around it. But the thing is, though, we're all amazing.
You're right.
Are you amazing?
Every
human being, everyone is amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you're conceived in the womb, and you're born into this life here, and there's a reason why you're here. Now, anyone listening now, you may be in a really bad place where you've been attacked by the black dog, you got financial problems, these problems, that problems, but there's a reason why you're here. There's a fulfilling reason why you're here, and if you're in a hard spot at the moment, see it through. No matter what, see it through. You will come out the other side, and you'll be a better, stronger person as a result of that.
Yeah, and which is you've shown that. You've absolutely shown that.
Well, I was taught that pain is the fertilizer of spiritual growth.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
it's through pain that we grow, and being human beings, including myself, I hate pain. You know, that's why I drank. You know, I drank on top of it. But now, if I'm in pain, I know that I'm growing, and there's something. There's going to be a benefit.
There's a
from
reason
that.
for it.
There's a reason
Yeah.
for it, and there's going to be a benefit from that. My life now, I have nothing. You know, I still have my caravan. You know, I'm 71, and
But you're fulfilled in other ways.
yeah,
in so many ways.
yeah. Well, the stuff that I have on board today, money can't buy. And you know something? Everyone out there is searching. They're searching for something, and they don't know where to look.
No,
And the world is just full of hurting people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I wanted to just repeat that number again. If anyone wants to contact Storm or Debbie, it's 0499 858 394, and it's BMRC.
Yeah.
Is that what it is on Facebook as well?
Bindoon Mobile Recovery
And
Campaign.
I've got my band on today. Have you got your
Yeah.
bands on? So there is merchandise. Now, there is merchandise that you can get through Storm, and this is actually mine. I'm actually going to pay you for that. This is $50. So you get this little awesome black dog. I love his collar. It's
pretty
brilliant.
cool, hey?
And it's got my name. Sorry, Black Dog's my name, and Suicide's my game.
Game.
So there's my $50. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be taking him home. I've got the Black Dog Ride dog as well, so they can be sitting. They can accompany each other. So that's cool. Thank you so much.
You don't give him any water.
No water?
No
What does
food.
he eat? No food.
No, you
Perfect.
give
It's
him
a
nothing.
perfect dog.
You don't talk to him.
No, I'll
No,
talk to him.
Oh, will you?
Yeah, I'll
T-
probably
tell
will
him what a
talk to him.
mongrel he is.
No, oh, that's true. That's true. He's not someone that I want to really. I've actually got Black Dog tattoo on my foot because I've struggled with Black Dog. But I can't thank you enough for coming in.
Well, for us to be here, for me to be here, is a privilege.
You can come anytime you like.
And me and Debbie would love to thank you for inviting us and having us here.
It's been an honour. It's been an absolute honour to have you.
It's an honour to be here.
As soon as someone said Storm's coming in, I was yes! I can't wait because you're just amazing. And I was one of those people that rushed up on stage and gave you a hug once at Two Wheels to Wagen. And if anyone wants to know what Two Wheels to Wagen is, it's a motorbike ride that we do from, I think it's from Canning Vale to...
No, it's from the BP, Abernathy BP.
Yep.
And I think next year it's in February, be February the 18th,
Something
I think.
like that, yeah.
And it is a fantastic
ride.
day,
And we
fantastic
camp.
ride.
We do the camp overnight.
Yeah, and
And-
there's live band
Yeah.
and party time
It's
and
really good,
bike
really good,
show
yeah.
and Two Wheels to Wagen. These people, and when you look at them, you think, oh my God, they're a bit rough, but they raise money for people that have depression and
Exactly.
various mental health joints.
Yep,
They're
brilliant.
around Perth, and that money they raise on that run goes out to help
Yep.
people. They are such wonderful people.
And
aren't
it's
they,
a
Debbie?
really
Wow.
safe weekend. So I've been on a
Yes.
couple of them, and there's no trouble. It's all very respectful.
Yes.
It's not bikies. It's
No.
bikers, and there's a
Yep.
total big difference on that.
Yep.
So if anyone wants to know, yes, it's number 2 Wheels to Wagen.
Yep.
I would probably put that on my page and let people know about that because it is worthwhile going to if you're on a bike. If you're not on a bike, that's okay. You can roll up anyway.
Well, you can drive your car, and they camp the night.
Yeah.
So they have an area where they party. You can smash yourself if you want to, and then crawl across the grass and just crawl into your tent. And then the next day everyone
Up and off you
rides
go.
back
Yeah,
to Perth.
But they have breakfast. Someone, I think Rotary, someone locally does a breakfast.
Yeah.
Someone locally does a dinner. It's
yeah.
really, really well organised. It's very safe. So if you're interested in riding your bike and camping the night, I would definitely recommend it. And also donating to a great cause as well. So
Yep.
we will end it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mish,
Thank you
for
so,
having
so
us.
much. And I appreciate you. I respect you so much. I will see you out there again. And do you like 80s music? You're probably 60s music, knowing you. I've got 80s music. That's all I play is 80s. So I'm going to play a little bit of 80s music. And I should have got something that you like. But anyway, here we go. This is, what should we do? Let's do somebody. Oh, no, we don't do that one. Let's do Rump. I don't even know what this is. Rump Shaker. Let's see what this is. Anyway, thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.